Gensel on the right. He's got Jake Gensel.
Hundley holds, steps up. Hundley sacks T.J. Watt. NFL history. Watt has tied Michael Strahan's single-season record.
Oh, no.
In the air to right. This is deep. And he did it again. Jack Sawinski wins it for the Pirates. 3 home runs in a game.
Welcome to another edition of our live Pittsburgh Sports Line in the BPTV studio. Right here in the Municipal Pally building. Police stations to our right. Libraries up above. Smoking Jim's looking at me and he questions where the library is. The mayor's office and admin offices are up there, so you can check it all out. That's where we're at. We're doing another one of our Pittsburgh Sports Line shows. We appreciate all of you watching us. Thanks for watching us on Comcast 7, only in Bethel Park. Thanks for watching us on Verizon 32 in Bethel Park, and all the way from Nemacolin, Cranberry, Wexford, and the greater Pittsburgh area. People are contacting me all the time saying, we love the show. So thank you very much. I'm Al Levine, the talking machine. I got Smoking Jim Frazier, Chip Hayner, and Nick Callis. And also, thank you for liking our Facebook page. Haven't checked it lately. I don't know.
We're like 6, 9, 7, 8. Yeah.
We're dropping.
We're losing them.
What the heck is going on? You got to get me hooked up there.
We're going to have to start doing something controversial.
What do you mean? Wait. This man talks
Like
about...
predict the Steelers' victory.
Hold it. Don't tease them with anything yet. Don't tease them. They didn't play this last week. So if you didn't hear, they didn't lose.
Yeah, I was
So
going
we'll
to say
see.
Kenny Pickett didn't throw any interceptions.
Whoa. All right. We better get this show on the road here.
got a pin jersey on. That's all right. You know?
All right.
I got something for Pat Narduzzi, too.
We got some
He's still
promos.
undefeated.
We got some promos here for you. Let's see what we got. Marco here, and we got his dad Mike assisting him. Look at this shot. All right, go to Olive Oil's Pizzeria. They sponsor us with an XL pepperoni pizza, a steak hoagie cut into 6 slices. It's delicious. They're at Hillcrest Shopping Center. They're very convenient. I met a lady named Katie, lives right at the Lytle stop here, on the tracks right across the street. And she was taking pizza because she's a good wife. Her husband called it in, and she picked it up and said, "Are you waiting?" I go, "Yeah, they sponsor my show." So she may even be watching Pittsburgh Sports Line. But call 412-831-1900. I got a little brain fog there with all that conversation meeting Katie. All right. They got great pizza. Everything else is good. Just check out their website or just stop in at Hillcrest Shopping Center. You know where they're at. There's that laundry wash there right nearby, so check them out. All right, we end each show with Stay Joey Strong. Let's see what Marco and Mike did. There we go. That's a winner right there. Marco, excellent job right there. Poor Joey Fabus at 8 years old. He died of DIPG, a dreaded brain cancer. 1 pick before DIPG. The second pick, which Marco got both in there, and my clean fingernails, so I appreciate that in the picture. And you can go out to their Joey Fabus Childhood Cancer Foundation and check out what they do in their events, and you can volunteer to help them out. They raised over $100,000 to find a cure. So check it out. All right, let's see what Marco can do on this one. There we go, perfect. You listened to the talking machine, you won, Marco. They're at 2600 South Park Road. Red and white trolleys right out front. Check them out, the Bethel Park Historical Society Schoolhouse Arts and History Center. Bethel Park Historical Society does a lot of great things. Great tea shop, Reginald's Coffee, best coffee in Bethel Park. Roasted coffee from around the world. They have a roaster inside their shop. All right. Next one, another 501c3. That's Bennett there. Bennett is the B and always be smiling. He was a very happy, handicapped child, needed 2 kidney transplants. His dad gave him the last one. I'm going to go to the next one. Bethel Park Community Foundation has grant money for you. They have from $100 to $5,000 available for your group doing great things to make Bethel Park a better community. So great shot by Marco and Mike. We're good, looks clear. I'll let go and we'll move this to the side. All right, let's see what the team does on this one. What do you think, Marco? Does that look good?
That's awesome right there.
Steady.
That's money.
Steady there. We're good. I want you for BPTV. You could be like Marco, not his dad. He didn't volunteer. He's a dad. He's helping. We got Nick.
Hi.
We got Johnny Mariano in the control room again. He was here 2 weeks ago. Look at how he's running the show. Smoking Jim calls it the 1 and 2s. I don't know what it is, but there's buttons there. Nick said there's 4 good buttons, so he's using the buttons.
Even Smoking Jim could do it if he needed to.
No, he knows the edit, but he don't do it. Yeah, check out, if you want to be a volunteer here, like Marco, Nick, and Johnny, you can help out. Call 412-831-3304. Tell Dave Cable that Uncle Al Levine, the talking machine, said you can work here. If you're in high school and you want audio and video experience, this is the place. So come on in. All right, one more for the team, the father-son team. All right. This is a key one for all of you. You can get $15 wreaths to honor our veterans, wreaths across America. You can go to the Bethel Park Historical Society's page and their website, and you can draft and pull down a order form, and it's $15 for each wreath. And we had over 400 some in our cemetery here, and they plan on doing it again and sponsoring some other cemeteries in the area. That's the Bethel Park Historical Society. It's a great way to honor our veterans, my dad and others, Chip's dad, and other people like that who have served and passed away. So check that out. All right, we got to start. What's on your mind? Smoking Jim Frazier.
Thanks, Al Levine, the talking machine. And if you want the green,
Coming at you.
you've got to see
What a catch.
Levine.
You call him Deontay.
No.
I tell you what, what's in that
Almost.
coffee cup right over there, man? I might buy that. I like that.
That's a
more.
sloth.
That's
Is
a
that,
sloth.
whatever that is, I might buy that.
Jim, that's a sloth.
Whatever that is.
That's a sloth.
I don't know what that is.
The library uses
But hey,
it.
I got a question for Nick Callis.
Is that right?
They charge for that.
Does the Steelers have, how many Super Bowl championships do they have? Is that 5, 6?
6.
One less than Brady.
So one
One less than
one
Brady.
more for the stairway to 7.
No, one less than Brady.
So the Penguins beat them to 7 in a row. Can the Penguins lose 8? Hey, I tell you what.
How did you find a way to tie those together?
I
Get
love
outta
my
here.
Penguins. I hope they keep the big 3 together another 17 years. But here's my
Hold
thing.
it, I got to interrupt you. Tony from Chick-fil-A said, I would have voted for Smoking Jim today, but he will not provide the sports facts. That's why I had to interrupt you.
You could have been president if you told the
here's
truth
some
about sports.
facts, and I think everybody agree with me. I have a solution for the Steelers, but it's going to take 2023 to get it done. Whether or not you think Kenny Pickett is a franchise quarterback or not, I think you got to get him the best possible coach to do the job. How about Mark Whipple? He looks like he's 90, but he's only 65. Don't forget, he coached Pickett at Pitt from 2019 to 2021, his best years. He coached under Bill Cowher. He coached Big Ben when Big Ben was 13-0 and 15-1 as a rookie. His first 3 years, he was Big Ben's coach, and he won a Super Bowl. As a head coach of New Haven, his team averaged 52 points a game. He had record-setting offenses at New Haven, Brown, UMass, and as an as an offensive coordinator for the University of Pittsburgh, Kenny Pickett last year broke all records. So I would say bring in Mark Whipple as your offensive coordinator.
Well, that would be great because he not only is he a great offensive coordinator, he got his head coach fired in Nebraska. Four games into the season.
There you go.
I'm just saying.
Oh, Smoking Jim, I don't know.
I mean, if you're going to put out his resume, put out the whole resume.
Smoking Jim, I was going to say I didn't know where you were today, but thank you for the free lunch today I had at the Masonic Hall on North Hills, near the cemetery.
Do you feel like sharing?
We was out there
It was
with the
just
white
a simple.
people.
It was just a first disclaimer.
Oh man.
Fluffernutter sandwiches.
Oh boy.
Fried bologna. But Smoking Jim Frazier is not a racist. A lot of people accuse him of it. He just notices color when he's the only black guy at an event. So what he said was actually true, but in this politically correct neighborhood, I understand. And I was a little bit remiss. I wanted to wish everybody happy election eve. We're almost done till 8 o'clock. So if you're watching us and you haven't voted, unlike Smoking Jim, please go vote. The polls are open till 8 o'clock.
That's right.
So do that.
The next time he votes will be the first.
Well, he won't vote because he doesn't use his government name. His government name is not Smoking Jim
I was the
Frazier.
first one in line.
For lunch.
What is it, 007?
Yes. All right, thanks for
James
Oh
Bond.
man.
Jim Ellenbogen, thanks for watching. Amy Sliss, thanks for watching. She says, welcome back, Chip. Ralph Williams is watching.
That's my man.
He said hello. Bob Beers, a longtime guy I worked with over 40 years at the Post-Gazette. He's watching. My Post-Gazette guys, George Malerbo's watching. Tim Davis, our friend in Millvale, and the father of Colleen Chaos Davis, who just had a draw at the Meadows after she had a severe headbutt in the first round. There must have been a gash about this big. Smoking Jim hates to see women fight. She got a headbutt. So she recovered from that. Ty Polk, if you're going to be out for the BP USC 5A semis, I'll be there. Congrats to Ty Polk. I told you could do that stuff. Just try. He'll be announcing. And Smoking Jim, Amy has a comment. She likes your free pirate hat that you got. Because you know he didn't pay for that. It still has the stickers on it underneath. All right, shout out to everybody else. Chip Hayner, welcome back. What's on your mind?
Well, thank you, everybody. And, well, a number of things are on my mind. And another bold prediction, I'm going to predict that maybe the Penguins and the Steelers will each win a game in the same week. It may not be this year, but it could be sometime soon.
Whoa.
The Penguins go to play one of Jim's favorite hockey players tomorrow night. And no, that's not Jaromir Jagr. They're playing the Capitals and Alex Ovechkin. So they're playing in
Oh, an
in
announcement
DC.
from Jim Ellenbogen. He said, please leave Jim alone. He's railing from USC beating Gateway.
Thank
Jim,
you.
you should have heard Chip pounding on Smoking Jim before we started.
You know, Jim,
Relentless.
just because I don't like to pile on Jim, you know.
It was easy.
Because I love him like a brother. But, I mean, you know, you think maybe Gateway, this is their way of ducking Bethel Park?
Oh boy.
Whoa. We appreciate it. Thanks for the
So-
input. Go ahead, Chip.
So what's on my mind? 2 weeks ago when I was here, I made a prediction about the World Series. And I said that if the World Series went 7 games, that I felt that the Phillies would win it. And if it went anything less than 7 games, then I felt that the Astros were going to take it.
Yeah.
Congratulations to the Houston Astros, the 2022 World Series champs. They were by far the best team in baseball this year. And I know I'm hurt by the young friend over there, Nick, but you know you got to
He's
give
in
them
pain.
credit
The
where
pain
credit
of it
is
all.
due. I was the staunchest supporter of the Astros having to vacate the 2017 World Series championship.
I was a close second.
Because they cheated, and you know, but this one, as far as we know, to this date, is untainted. But the Astros, they did it. They earned it. Congratulations. The Astros pitching staff, their relief pitchers, I believe, or is that their pitching staff had the most strikeouts ever in a World Series.
Chip,
in a
I gotta
single season.
I got to share this with you. I don't know if you posted or somebody else, but Nolan Ryan, it shows him laughing that it took 4 pitchers to pitch a no-hitter.
And that just goes to show you about
Did you
how the
post
game
that,
of
or did you-
baseball changed. Yes,
I
it
had to
is.
bring it up because I wasn't sure with your little hiatus.
But see, here's what the thing is. The starting pitcher, 6 innings into the game, they pulled him. He's pitching no-hit baseball, but he was at 97 pitches. Now, what managers are so afraid of now is they go back to a no-hitter that was thrown by Johan Santana,
Yeah.
who was pitching for the New York Mets, and I don't know how many years ago it was. But he ended up throwing 140 or 150 pitches so he could get his no-hitter. He got his no-hitter and then did absolutely nothing after that because he blew out his arm.
Right.
So
Oh, that was
now,
2009. I remember.
you could be right. I'm not.
I
He
remember
said he
when he-
didn't know, so if you know,
But-
we got
but-
an answer.
But now we have pitchers on pitch counts. Analytics, as I have said before, I believe analytics are ruining the game, but they are what they are. So it took 4 pitchers to combine on a no-hitter, and a no-hitter is still a no-hitter. Still won't match Don Larson's perfect game. Don Larson threw in his perfect game in 1956. He threw exactly 97 pitches.
Wow.
Which is as
he was
many
efficient.
pitches as Houston's starter threw in the first 6 innings. So just there. But got to give credit where credit is due. The Astros, World Series champions, and I would not be too surprised if they're strong contenders for the title next year.
Yeah. And the shout out to Dusty Baker.
And more on that in Chip's Trivia.
Oh, sorry to usurp that.
No,
that's
that's
a
a-
tease. That's
that's
a,
a little
I
tease.
like baseball. That's my first love, so I go back to that.
I mean, when you think about it, you're people that are your age and my age, and I don't know, we don't know his age. The first,
I really don't
the
want to know
first
right
team
now.
that we ever rooted for in Pittsburgh sports was the Pirates.
Yeah.
The Steelers were the lovable losers. The Penguins didn't exist. So you grew up rooting for the Pittsburgh Pirates.
Yeah. Well, it echoes SOS. Anytime they talk about the Steelers, I'm like, what's that mean, Dad? I think I was 3 years old. Same old Steelers. They were cursed by Art Rooney.
Whatever happened to Dusty Baker's son that ran out there and almost got ran over at the plate years ago? Barry
Well, he's
Bonds
going to get a nice big piece of jewelry. He's going to
He
be
plays?
walking.
He
No,
plays?
but I'm sure his dad's going to make sure he gets a ring.
Hey, Jim Ellenbogen brings up, hey, Chip, that's okay about what you're saying with Smoking Jim. I'm still thinking about your Eagles-Steeler prediction by a
Yep.
field goal.
And unfortunately,
We just have
the Steelers soiled the sheets.
Well, I cleaned up on the Eagles, but I lost big money on Kansas City.
folks, the disclaimer on this is if you haven't started betting, don't bet. And normally, except when he bets the Eagles, bet against
I
Smoking
had
Jim.
Kansas City minus 12 and a half.
So even though I may make predictions, Jim, I don't bet, so I don't lose.
Chip, that's actually pretty smart.
I like that.
That's pretty smart. It's good logic. We're going to go to what's on your mind, Nick Callis.
Well, I don't know when I wanted to officially announce we're in dark times, but I know I've said that I'm sad about the Steelers, and let me just say that the Steelers not playing on Sunday Night Football now is real sad. So, I mean, is it going to get worse?
You mean because they suck?
Yeah. Is it going to get worse? Is it going to get better? I don't know. I don't know when it's going to get better. I don't know how much worse it could get, but that flex the NFL did should really just make you sad. Just sad, and I posted about the Astros winning the World Series, and I put pain on the Sportsline post. But I do the same thing for the Steelers when that notification came out that the flex was happening. There's just pain, a lot of pain. But on brighter news, since none of the teams in Pittsburgh right now are really worth talking about, maybe the Pitt Panthers, but they're still kind of mediocre. Smoking Jim took us to that lunch, and I wanted to bring this up. I love Smoking Jim, nice man for doing that. But when I was there, I wanted to give this guy a shout out because I didn't know Smoking Jim knew a guy who coached me when I was a teenager in rec baseball. His name's Jack McVeigh. He's a judge in Pittsburgh, and his wife was our head coach and our manager. Had no idea that these two know each other. Also, Larry Richert, who introduced me to Odyssey in 93.7 The Fan, as I first got my interview there, came right up to Smoking Jim and gave him a hug, and then Smoking Jim gave credit to the nice people of Sportsline as he was up there and brought the energy. But no, just like the coincidences of all the people that I might know that Smoking Jim knows, it's interesting. I've been surprised since I've known him how many people that we have in common. But we live on two sides of the city, two different sides of the city, but we know a lot of people.
6
And you live in
degrees of
Braintree?
separation. Have you ever heard that?
6 degrees of
6 degrees of
Mark that
separation.
tape. Mark that
for
tape.
what? What?
Well, here,
You can play that over and over again.
I'll do what's on my mind with a one-upper on Nick. We're outside, me and Smoking Jim. We'll talk, because we don't get to talk much together because he has a texting phone. So all of you know what it's like. Hey, Al, how are you? Text. You want to call? Al, what's going on today? Okay. So we're outside, right? We're by our car and we're talking to different people like Claudio, the CMU coach, say goodbye to him. This older gentleman comes up and I go, hey, howdy, how are you? Smoking Jim knew my dad's friend. He refereed with my dad before I met him.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, well.
And I met him 2 years ago at the Western Pennsylvania Hall of Fame. And I go up to him and I mention my name. And he goes, would your dad be Solly Levine? And I said, yes. He goes, I refereed with him.
I remember.
Oh.
And we were talking, and people go, you know Howdy. And I'm like, yeah, that's his name. And then he's an older gentleman. I won't say how old, probably in his 70s. And he goes, hey, I got to go sell a furnace today. I go, you're still working? He goes, yeah, I sell furnaces.
Wow.
So if you need a furnace, get a hold of me, and I'll hook you up with Howdy.
Yeah, what, to steal a line from the Game of Thrones. Winter is coming.
That's an excellent one. Game of Thrones is a good show. Smoking Jim will hear about it in 10 years. He actually discovered The Sopranos 2 years ago.
Really?
Seinfeld, he only found out about Seinfeld last year. And he was going back to Bonanza and Gunsmoke and things like that. So that's what's on my mind. Just hang around Smoking Jim like Nick's doing, and he finds out. And here's the other thing, little on the side. He says he voted for Judge McVeigh, but he never voted.
Oh.
And we're going to...
Oh.
Ouch. All right, we're going to come back in 10 seconds with some fiction and fact from Smoking Jim's Almanac. Marco, get ready on the camera. Guess where we're going?
Thanks, Al Levine, the talking machine. I'm going to go back some years. During the summer of when I played college football.
What year?
And didn't go to many classes. During the summer, I would work out with the Pitt football team and
Who were
stay
they?
down there.
Who were they?
Well, I'll get to that. I remember one night.
That'll give away the year.
I was always hanging with Dwight Collins. That was one of my best friends. And so we're in the elevator one time.
Let me think what year that was.
Yeah, we're in the elevator, right?
I'm starting to narrow it
Elevators were
down.
invented,
And
okay.
this tall
The year before.
And this tall black guy gets in the elevator. He's 6'6".
No disclaimer.
And he had some nice forearms. He get in there with this beautiful white girl, right?
Oh, here
and
we
I'm
go,
thinking to
folks.
myself, how did he get her, right? So Dwight.
These are his opinions.
Yeah. So Dwight starts bashing this girl, right? And this brother's big. And so she looks to him like, what are you going to do? And Dwight's like, he ain't going to do nothing, but if start talking about you like I'm doing, right? And that was Chris Dolman. And so
Wow.
later on, a year later, and Chris Dolman, he's a linebacker at Pitt, but he was a
I
young
remember.
guy. He
I
was a
remember.
young guy at the time. So a
He
year
may
later,
have only been 19.
yeah, a year later, I run into Bill Fralick, maybe the greatest football player I've ever seen. And Bill Fralick's from Penn Hills. So he's a Penn Hills hater. Like every once in a Bill Fralick never had nothing good to say about anybody, just like them Penn Hills haters. And I remember Bill Fralick told me He says, if Chris Dolman works, he could be a great player. I'm like, what? Fralick said something good about somebody. And Chris Dolman went on to be a Hall of Famer. But during that summer,
There you go. He brought it
during
full
that summer,
circle.
Ellaby, Dwight Collins was crazy.
Yeah.
Some practices he go out there with his shoulder pads but no helmet. Other practice he go out there with a helmet, no shoulder pads. He was a nut. Other times he wouldn't bring back Coach Fazio's Cadillac in time for practice, right? So anyhow,
Hold it, but he's your friend.
he's not my friend. So we're in the weight room, right? We're in the weight room, and everybody's
There's
on.
weights there.
There's some steroids in that weight room. So Mel Blount was in there almost every day because Pitt had a better weight room than the Steelers, and Mel Blount was known to do those power cleans. That's why. So Mel Blount's in there right.
That's why I knocked those receivers down.
That's why I ride the exercise bike to this day. Mel Blount rides the exercise bike, right? Buddy Morris is the coach, right? So
He's
Dwight
100 pounds
they
lighter
got
than you.
mirrors all around the weight room, right? Crazy Dwight Collins is in there with a football, firing them off the mirror. So Buddy's like, "Hey, quit throwing those! You're gonna break the mirror." Dwight, give me that ball. Off the mirror, right? So I see this guy that looked like a janitor. He's in shape. He got a small waist, big chest, shoulders. He got the janitor green pants on.
Yeah.
And he looked like he was in shape. Here's Jimbo Sweeney, right? The late great
No
Jimbo
way.
Sweeney. So Sweeney and Dwight starts wrestling, and Sweeney gets him from behind. And Dwight was a tough guy. He couldn't break loose. And if you look at all the great linemen back there, Bill Fralick, Jimbo Covert, Russ Grimm, Mark May, you rarely hear anybody talking about Jimbo Sweeney.
They
And
used to.
But his work ethic, he lived in the weight room. He made himself a great player, played 16 or 17 years in the league. And in my opinion, if you count his high school at Seton LaSalle with Rich Engel, and he could possibly be a Hall of Famer. I just found out that he passed away. Broke my heart to hear
He did just
that
pass.
Jimbo
Yeah,
Sweeney passed away. Rest in peace.
I remember working out at a Gold's Gym over here in Pleasant Hills.
His dad worked there.
When he was playing for the Jets.
Yeah.
And I walked into
Yeah.
we'll talk about that off the air.
Okay. Yeah. Yes, dad worked.
Because I don't want to
Great guy.
speak ill of the dead.
Okay.
Hard-working guy, made himself a great player. And rest in peace, Jimbo Sweeney. I was sad to hear the news.
Yeah, that was in the mid '80s.
Did he pass?
No. That I went over at the Gold's Gym.
Yeah, okay.
See, because I'm not afraid to say what year.
Well, you're 62, aren't you?
Every day of it.
Jim Ellenbogen, hey, Smoking Jim. Jack's sister is married to D.A. Zappala, a great guy. McVay, his sister, is
Is he?
married to Zappala.
Well, we got a nice house at Fox Chapel.
See? See?
If I could swim, I'd go to a swimming party over there.
Ralph has some knowledge. Jim Sweeney lived in Beachview in the same house his whole life. And Ralph, I played against a lot of Beachview baseball players, and all of them said they knew Jim Sweeney. And I'm thinking, how can they all know him? Now I understand.
He told me one time, this is off the record.
Oh, Chief's watching.
But
Hey,
Jim
Chief.
Sweeney told me one time, this is after his playing career, we were talking.
Okay.
And
What year?
Eating some peanuts. And
From
and he
Nicholas
told-
Coffey?
And he told me, he said, I'll never be a Notre Dame fan. He said he loved Notre Dame. He said, I won't watch another Notre Dame game after they fired Joe Moore, his offensive line coach.
Whoa.
Yeah, he's very loyal. And Joe Moore's the greatest offensive line coach
Of
in
all
the history
time.
of football.
Of
Yeah.
all time.
Didn't
Shelly
they-
High School. He's
No.
in our Hall of Fame that Curtis Martin will never get in.
Yeah, well, like Big Cat.
Big Cat will never get in as long as I'm on it.
Thank you,
It's a
Smoking
good thing you
Jim.
don't have any bias.
Our friend Amy wants to know, how many years did you play football in college officially?
Hey, Amy, congratulations on your award. Oh,
he didn't
Amy,
answer
not
her
Amy.
question.
I'm thinking Amy on it. I played 3 years. I got hurt my senior year and signed with an agent. I wanted to go pro.
How'd that work for you?
I couldn't pass a physical.
Oh,
I went to Atlanta and they put me on the same flight back.
oh.
Then I went to Chicago, couldn't pass. Played a couple years in semi-pro.
You got
never
some
picked up a
actual
football after that.
history on smoking Jim Frazier. I was talking with Jody, his other best friend, and we said, she goes, he's a man of mystery. And I go, he's just a private man.
Does he take her calls?
Yes.
Took me 14 years
Yes.
to get that 4-year degree, though. I wasn't going to quit.
All right, enough of this. Let's go to trivia time in 10 seconds with Chip Hayner. You know what to do, Marco.
All right, everybody. So back to our trivia, and we're going back to the 2022 World Series champions, regardless of how painful it is to young Nick. But the manager of the Houston Astros, it only took him 41 years to win his second World Series title. He won the title as a Los Angeles Dodger
Yeah.
in 1981. Dusty Baker is an American baseball manager and former outfielder who's the manager of the Houston Astros, Major League Baseball. He previously played Major League Baseball for 19 seasons. Wow. And one of his mentors as a rookie was none other than Hank Aaron of the Atlanta Braves. During his Dodgers tenure, he was a two-time All-Star, won 2 Silver Slugger Awards and a Gold Glove, became the first National League Championship Series MVP, which he received during the 1977 National League Championship Series.
Wow.
And you know what's significant about that? Is that the Dodgers played the Yankees in the 1977 World Series. And what happened in the 1977 World Series?
The Yankees won.
Reggie Jackson hit 3 home runs in one game and became, from that point forward, Mr. October.
Yes.
And there you go.
Started the legend.
He also made 3
learned
World
it playing
Series
games.
appearances. He also made 3 World Series appearances, winning 1 in 1981. To give you he made his major league debut September 7th, 1968, for the Atlanta Braves. Played his last game October the 4th, 1986, for the Oakland Athletics. His career batting average was .278. He hit 242 home runs, 1,013 runs batted in. His managerial record, 2,093 wins, 1,790 losses,
Ain't bad.
a .539 winning percentage. As a player, he played for the
Negative.
Braves from
Negative.
68 to 75, the Dodgers from 76 to 83, the San Francisco Giants in 1984, and the Oakland A's in 84, 5 to 86. As a manager, he managed the San Francisco Giants from 1993 to 2002,
Wow.
the Chicago Cubs from 2003-2006, the Cincinnati Reds from 2008 to 2013, the Washington Nationals 2016-2017, and the Houston Astros. And the one thing I will say about Dusty Baker as a manager, I never had anything against him personally, but he was the king of making 4.5 hour baseball games because he would go. I'd be sitting there watching a game at PNC Park, watching any of his teams, whether it was the Cubs or the Reds, and I'd be sitting there watching a game. He'd be like, "Wow, man, it's the 6th inning. The game's only an hour and a half long." And then the last 4 innings would take 3.5 hours because he would use every pitcher in his bullpen, and he would change pitchers every batter. One of the reasons they changed the rules was because of Dusty Baker.
There you
But-
go.
All this being said, he is deserving of a World Series title. After retiring as a player, he served as manager of the Giants and the rest of the teams. He won the 2022 World Series with the Astros, in addition to appearances with the Giants in 2002 and the Astros in 2021, and is the 9th manager to win pennants in both the American League and National League.
Wow, that's
Baker
impressive.
ranks 9th in Major League Baseball managerial wins and has the most wins among African American managers among the 4 major sports leagues in North America. Baker is the oldest manager to win a championship. And if that doesn't cement his place in Cooperstown, I don't know what will.
Chip,
'Cause
that's
he's
great.
all-time winning black.
That's great information. But I wanted to
No.
bring out.
His
I'm going to be
career
like
achievement.
Smoking Jim for 1 second. Would he have the most losses for a black manager?
I don't know because I would have to take a
I'll
look at
pretend
Frank.
I'm smoking
no,
Jim.
wait, I would have to check Frank Robinson's record because he was the first black manager.
I
to-
knew you'd
to
bring
play.
some logic to it, but I wanted to get his reaction.
Frank Robinson may have more. I would have to check the
How did he get
statistics.
the name Dusty, nickname Dusty? Huh?
He was a little kid kicking dust
His
up.
actual name is Johnny B. Dusty Baker.
Wow, Johnny B.
And I believe, I read something about this, but I believe his mother called him that because every time he would go out and play, he would come in just covered in dirt from head to toe. Okay.
Chip, we got Tony from Chick-fil-A.
Yes,
I
sir.
think I know the answer. He goes, Chip, who is the best Pirate closer in history?
Joel Hanrahan.
I'd probably say Tecalvi.
Yeah, I was.
I was going to say Ted Tecalvi.
Tony, what do you say?
There were some people that had short stints where they were real good.
Yeah.
But you know what?
Long term.
They don't have a ring.
Yeah.
I agree with Chip on that.
You don't even know what we're talking about.
Me saying Joel Hanrahan.
Be
was
honest,
the
and one of the
best
greatest relievers the
Hammer.
Pirates
Yeah.
ever had.
That was
is-
sarcasm.
I know.
Wait, Alan, one of the greatest relievers the Pirates ever had should have been in the inaugural class into the Pirates Hall of Fame.
Yes.
And that's Elroy Face.
That's what I was going to say. If you wanted somebody going back in time.
One year
that's what
as
I
a
say.
reliever. 1 year as a reliever, he had a record of 19-1
Right.
as a relief pitcher.
Who's close to that?
And most of the games he came in as a relief pitcher weren't 1 inning.
Right.
He would pitch 3 or 4 innings.
Oh, yeah.
Because that's the way the game was played.
You didn't have the bullpens like you have nowadays.
Were the
Yeah.
Pirate starters that bad?
No.
They came in.
They needed help.
When we talk about starters being, firepower from the before time where complete games were such a rarity, that's why I'm confused. It's just like, oh.
Jackson Walker, thanks for watching. Ralph Williams puts in Jim Gott.
Jim Gott was a
That's
good
a
one.
good one.
There's a lot of good. Joel Hanrahan
And
was
Chief
good.
said Elroy like me and you.
Jason Grilly
I'm
was
going
good.
Elroy.
Mark Melanson was good.
Yeah, Melanson.
Of recent ones. Matt Capps was good for a short while. Who was that? Mike
Yeah.
Williams.
Yeah, Williams.
Mike Williams
is another
has set the record for the Pirates back
thought-
in the early 2000s.
Yeah, I thought
I think
so.
that's what his name was.
Mike Gonzalez, maybe?
No, I
No,
believe
no,
it's. I
I
believe
thought
it's.
Williams. Yeah.
Maybe I don't know.
You're bringing back
Yeah,
some names.
but I mean,
Thanks, Tony, for your
and
question.
another great Pirate closer was Dave Justy.
That's a name blast from the past.
Well, and he lives right over here in Bethel, in Upper St. Clair. Oh, yeah. Didn't they beat Gateway? But
There, I'll tell you a story. I go up to Giant Eagle, the Market District, once in a while. So I'm at the Market District. This is like 9 years ago. One of our biggest fans, Renee, maybe you remember.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She's up there, and she'd bug me. I'm trying to get stuff, and I go, I'm on the phone with my daughter, and she goes, I watch your show. So we became friends. I come by a couple months later, and she goes, hey, Al, I know you're a sports guy. Do you know who Dave Justy is? And I go, yeah. She goes, you want to meet him? I go, yeah, I'd love to meet him. Well, I knew who he was, and I met him actually a couple times before. He didn't remember, but she brought him over and goes, hey, Dave Justy, I want you to meet Al Levine. He's a talking machine on Pittsburgh Sportsline. He goes, oh, nice to meet you. I go, how do you know Renee? He goes, she's the best here. She helps me get all this stuff I need and wherever I need to get things, and we're friends. So I talked to Dave
Great
Justy
story.
just like that.
Great story.
All right, we're going to move on. Chip, thank you very much for that. Thanks to Tony. Smoking Jim, no thanks to you on any of that, especially that black and white story. We'll just put the disclaimer, he's not racist. And he's not politically correct because he doesn't understand what that even means.
No.
All right, we're going to the VIP.
I'm sad that baseball's over. I'm sad the Astros are World Series champions. So that's terrible. I'm sad that most of the Pittsburgh sports teams are terrible. So what do I talk about right now? My opinions would be obvious. Everything's terrible. But that wouldn't be
on a sports show.
but
Carry on.
But that wouldn't be a fun segment. So I did some digging-ish in my mind. And I wanted to do a little mashup. I got a little Chips Trivia mashup now with VIP time. So, bam, here we go. And here's what I mean by that. So, this is the last time I'm going to bring up video games because I think it's a bit of a tired subject. But I thought I'd put everybody to the ultimate test. You at home, the people on the panel. How many pieces of factual, useless information do I have about Major League Baseball that I learned from video games? I sat down today. I hadn't played a sports video game with historical, factual content in like 6 months since I last talked about it in September, or not September, like June, July, or whatever. But I wanted to make sure, how much information can I retain in 6 months and then present to these guys and see what they know? I'm even going to ask Smokin' Jim. Smokin' Jim's going to be our leadoff guy, because if Smokin' Jim knows, that means that it's too easy of a question. So here we go. Play along at home, go into Facebook comments, but I'm going to rattle off some questions around the table. We'll see if we can get to Al and see if he knows, and if they all miss, I'm going to be pretty happy. So here we go. Smokin' Jim, as the leadoff hitter of these questions.
Strike one.
All right, you ready for this one? Now, if you're playing at home, too, some of these questions are insanely difficult. Some of them are like medium, but this is everything that I could think of in 30 minutes writing down these questions about what I know from Major League Baseball video games. Smokin' Jim, who made the final out and who caught the final out of the 1962 World Series?
Pass.
Pass. Chip,
Say it again.
who made the final out and then who caught the final out of the guy who made the out in the 1962 World Series?
I thought I knew, but I don't.
No using your phone.
No, I didn't. I'm trying to get the video back up.
Willie McCovey.
Somebody's saying,
of
why
the-
is Smokin' Jim always so negative?
Oh, I think that's that's you.
And
That's
no,
your
you know
captain's-
what?
Yeah.
You know what Jim's response to that? No, I'm not.
All right, but Willie McCovey of the new San Francisco Giants in the 1962 World Series lined out to Bobby Richardson with the winning runs on base in the 1962 World Series. Smokin' Jim, what year did the longest delay during a World Series happen and why?
Pass.
Chip,
1989, the A's and the Giants because of an earthquake.
let's go. Chip
I was
got
going to
it.
bring Earthquake up because I watched the whole thing and the bridges falling.
Love to see that.
Oh, Pete Kasich, our friend, said, I used to play basketball with Bill Robinson, the baseball player from Elizabeth.
Yeah.
He was a heck of a player,
Yeah,
too.
it was.
All right, next question.
Carry
Dodger
on.
shortstop Pee Wee Reese was not a small man, but why was his nickname Pee Wee? Smoking.
Pass.
No. Chip.
Not a small man. Why was his name
I think childhood nickname.
Why'd he get it, though?
I don't know.
It is a childhood nickname, but why?
I read a book about him, so I forget, but it was his childhood
It
nickname.
escapes me. I know this.
He was a marbles champion as a kid, and the smallest marble you play with is a Pee Wee.
Really?
There you go.
We used
you
to
go.
shoot
I
marbles.
used to shoot some good marbles.
You're older than I thought. Hey, we're finding out close to his
That's what I'm
age.
saying. Here we
Yeah.
go. This is helpful
Yeah,
for
he
that.
used to shoot
Thank you,
square
Nick.
marbles.
Cube marbles. Interesting. Who's the only catcher in the American League to win a batting title? Smoking.
Pass.
Chip.
only catcher to
In
win
Major
that.
League Baseball history to win a batting title.
Ooh,
Pudge Rodriguez.
No.
you got me.
Joe Mauer of the Minnesota Twins did it 3 straight years from 2008 to
Oh,
2010.
you're right. Yep.
Video games is strong.
There you go. Luis Gonzalez was an outfielder who won the World Series in 2001 with the Diamondbacks. He had an average of over 300 and hit 57 home runs, also had over 100 RBIs, but he was not the National League Most Valuable Player that year. Smoking why?
Walk.
Walk?
Yeah, pass.
Is that pass?
Barry Bonds.
There you go. Hashtag Barry Bonds hit 73 home runs, put him in the Hall of Fame. He's on the ballot now this year for the era or whatever. Keep that in mind. Put Barry Bonds in the Hall of Fame. That's why he, Luis Gonzalez. I feel bad for Luis Gonzalez though, because he was a good player, and I don't think he was ever caught taking steroids. So that's tough. The fastest expansion team in Major League Baseball and sports history to win a championship. Smoking Jim.
Pass.
Florida Marlins.
No.
Don't know.
The Arizona Diamondbacks. They were established in '98 and they won
even
in
close.
2001.
You don't even know they're a team.
What year were they? What were the year of the Marlins?
The Marlins were in They were before that.
Because they won in '97.
Yeah.
I don't remember when they were established though, but
Well,
I know
that
that
was Leland's. That was Leland's
Yeah, I remember when he
World
won.
Series against the Indians in 7 games.
I got a Jim Leland story before he won the World Series.
2 pack of cigarettes a day?
No.
No, something different.
I'm at the Meadows before they remodeled it, made a racino, and my trainers, Doug Snyder and Dane Snyder, and they go, "Hey, you want to meet Jim Leland?" Wow. And I go, "Yeah." I go, "You know he's leaving for Florida tomorrow." They go, "He loves the horses. He owns horses in our stable." Wow. I was with the Snyder stable, so we're stable mates. Wow. So you know me, I make friends. Yeah. We're friends instantly. We're holding our program like this. He goes, "Who do you like in this race, Al?" And I told him I like number 5 horse. And he goes, "So do I." Well, the races come off, and there's a couple screens. So we're at a couple small screens like this, and Jim Leland's a little thinner guy and smaller than me, and he's running down to each screen to get a better view on the bigger screen. He's running with his book and his ticket, and we won. His horse came in, and he goes, "We picked a winner. Who do you like in the next race?"
Wow.
So we're swapping who like horses and stuff. And then there's a race at the Meadows, right? Because this is on like other tracks across the country. He's betting all these races. He's throwing money around like crazy, and he's hitting a couple. And I go, "Who do you like at the Meadows?" And he likes a horse, and I go, "Hey, Jim, you won't believe it. I like that same horse." Wow. So we're standing out in the like infield area before the winner's circle's at. It's a down area. You were there. It's slanted down. Then there's a fence. Well, the horses are coming around the half. Our horse is like 3rd or 4th coming on the outside, and it's parked, you know, away from the rail with 2-3 horses coming around the 3/4. They're all coming up. We're standing halfway down the infield. We're looking up. He goes up near the fence, and he starts running from where the horses were coming to the finish line. Wow. That's how much he was into horse racing. And I forget if our horse won or not, but it was unbelievable to see it.
Was he toking on a heater?
No,
Is he a marble man or a Newport?
no, he was, I'll tell you what, he was just so excited about the races, and I've been going to the track since I was 18, so I enjoy it just as much as he did. And I said, "Hey, I'm so glad to meet you. Good luck in Florida." He goes, "Oh, thanks, Al. See ya." Wow. And that's the last I've seen him. So thanks for letting me do a little history here, a little fiction and fact from the talking machine.
Yeah, there you go.
Carry on. You're doing well.
Game 7 of the 1991 World Series featured this young upcoming pitcher who's now in the Hall of Fame and this established workhorse pitcher who was not.
Jack Morris.
That's
and who was the young and upcoming? Okay, so
1991.
It was the Twins and the Jack Morris was pitching for the Twins.
That is correct. That's half.
Oh.
Young upcomer now in the Hall of
You
Fame.
got me. I'm out of this.
All right.
I'm drawing a blank.
John Smoltz.
Oh.
There you go. Okay.
John Smoltz. Yes.
Wow.
Speaking of the 91 World Series, this Twins player robbed a home run in Game 6 and then hit a walk-off in Game 7. Or excuse me, I'm sorry. Robbed a home run in Game 6, then hit a walk-off to force a Game 7 to have that pitching matchup happen.
Kirby Puckett.
He got it. Look at that.
Guess who else got it?
Did you?
Marco's dad.
Did you know that? My
I
man.
had it too. I had a chip jumped in
You don't
front
even
of me.
know what a pucket is.
All right, a couple more here.
Oh, and Jim Ellenbogen goes, wild caught trivia. I remember when the Houston Astros were the Houston
Oilers?
Colt
Colts.
45s. For Houston Colt 45s.
Yeah.
That's when they first came out.
There you
I didn't know
go.
that.
I remember
That's
being
when they
in-
actually tried to grow grass in the Astrodome.
I remember that.
I
Yeah.
remember being in the Astrodome. Beautiful 8th wonder of the world.
Yeah.
All right, a few more here. Most remember that Bill Buckner made a crucial error to keep the Mets alive in the 1986 World Series.
I remember.
But who started the rally in that game, and then who was the one that ended up scoring on the error? Smoking.
Pass.
Ray Knight scored on the era,
Yes.
and Mookie Wilson started it.
No. Oh, so close.
Oh, I don't know.
No?
No.
Gary Carter.
Okay.
Oh,
Gary
yeah.
Carter. So I'm getting a lot of respect for Chip Beard out too. I thought these were hard questions, but he's getting right. He's getting some of them. All right.
I only got a couple, so he got me
Most
beat.
remember that Kirk Gibson hit a walk-off home run in Game 1 of the 1988
I
World
saw
Series.
it. I saw it.
Dennis Eckersley, though, was not known for walking people, especially in his prime as a reliever with the A's. He walked a batter before Gibson hit the home run. How many walks did Dennis Eckersley issue before that walk in the World Series in 1988? Smoke it.
Gibson was a great football player from Michigan State.
Wrong.
He can't answer.
How
you.
many?
How many walks did he have before that one
for the season?
for the whole year, including the playoffs?
I'd say 12.
Well, that's really close, but no.
15.
No, in the middle. 13. Walked 13, so that was his 14th walk.
I thought I remembered it was a great number.
Yeah.
Between 1985 and 2005, this man won a World Series as both a player and a manager for two different California teams. Smoking.
Pass.
Wait, what was it again?
Between 1985 and 2005, this man won a World Series as both a player and a manager in that time for two different California-based teams.
Mike Scioscia.
He got it.
Wow.
Wow.
Got it. He's on
The
fire.
Dodgers and the Angels. He was the manager of the
He's
Angels.
the master of trivia. Why do you think he has trivia time?
There we go. But he missed some, and I'm proud
I
of that.
mean, you know what? Hey,
Last one. Last one.
okay.
The last time
Give me a
that
Negro League baseball.
I don't have any of those. Believe it or not, and when we talk about race, the Negro Leagues have not been in video games, which is really sad. So keep that in mind. I don't approve of that. Somebody change it.
Thanks, Smoking.
The last time there was a Subway Series between both New York teams in the World Series. When's the last time that happened?
Pass.
2001.
No. That was the Diamondbacks when they beat the Yankees.
Oh,
Oh.
I could picture it. I
thought
can't
it
say
was-
it. Yeah, I
Okay,
forget.
the Mets and the Yankees played after 9/11. They didn't play in
No,
the
they-
World Series.
Nope. They played before 9/11. They played in the regular
Subway
season,
Series.
the Subway Series in the World Series.
Okay,
So,
yeah.
The Diamondbacks beat the Yankees in 2001.
Probably 99 or 2000.
I need you to pick one.
Oh,
2000.
He got it. 2000. After a guess. All right,
Well,
so
the reason, the
so I'll
logic-
tell you what.
wins the
the
award.
logic is that the Yankees went to three World Series, one back-to-back World Series.
They beat the Padres in 98, the Braves in 99, and the Mets in 2000. Then they lost to the Diamondbacks, going for 4
Diamondbacks.
consecutive in 2001. So it was a split. So there you go. That was a good time.
I kept my name in good
Can
standing.
we
Yes,
all,
I did.
Can we all pitch in?
You know what? I'm proud that you got none.
Can we all,
he don't know baseball.
Can we all pitch in? And after
Is
Chip's
this negative?
operation,
Is this
get him a
negative?
video game so he can have something to do after his operation.
Oh, believe me, I got books to read.
If you want video game.
No, I can learn a lot more from a book.
I wouldn't know about that. That's why I'm saying it's a split. It was a very even race
See,
there.
here's
he
my-
missed about half.
See, I know I've had an attitude about video games, and this is no knock on Nick,
Chief
and I'm not
said
trying
Chip's
to
on
denigrate
fire.
anybody to play. But here's my whole take on why I don't like video games. Any kind of a game that a 5-year-old could beat me at without any effort, I have no interest in playing.
Bro, pick up a piece of wood. I'll go to the park with you. Let's do it. I mean, I don't know why we're saying video games are the only thing, dude. I love playing pickup baseball, but video games allow me to experience players that are dead now that I was not alive to watch, and that's my underlying point.
And see, the players that you're talking about, I watched.
He's missing the whole point. I can't tell if you're doing that sarcastically or not.
It doesn't,
because
it
I
doesn't
wasn't
matter.
I'm not trying to.
It doesn't matter.
I love your passion, my friend. I love your passion.
It doesn't matter. You're allowed to disagree in your perspectives. We all have our different perspectives.
But I'm glad I got to bring up my useless information, too. That was a fun
And
time.
I'm glad you feel better, even though our black and yellows suck.
Yeah.
Nick, go back to the first few episodes I was on. I would tell Alan all the time I was a fountain of useless information.
I heard it.
And Alan
I
used
made
to
it a
always say,
segment.
"It's not useless. It's not useless."
I know. I enjoy it.
Well,
I'm a
this
trivia guy.
I'm hoping this will help me as an announcer one day, all the stuff that I learned from video games. Keep that in mind.
It already has.
I haven't announced
Since
a
you've
real
been
Major League Baseball
Since
game
you've been
yet.
a co-host, I mean.
Yeah,
Your
I'd say
day
so.
will come.
I'd say so.
Your
It's
time will
coming.
come.
All's well. All right.
Your,
All
your
right, we're
time
going to
will
go
come.
to
On location.
On Location. Don't have much to say. Got a couple events in April of 2023. We talked to a gentleman, Len, that owns Redbeards on 6th. He said, let's talk about doing a show. So that's right, hot off the press after lunch today. You heard it here first.
We're up on the mount or down in town?
Down in town.
There's two of them.
My girlfriend lived on Mount Washington. We used to hit the one up in Mount Washington. Their wings, magnifique.
Yes, sir.
Magnifique. She
Yes,
was
sir.
blonde-haired, blue-eyed, and she said, if they're hot enough for me, they're fine. And they'd go, a woman's going to eat the hot wings, she'd eat the hottest wings.
I wonder
That's
if her
a story.
sister was dating Chris Dolman at the time.
Her sister was
What year?
her brother was Frank LeBans, a tight end at Gateway.
Oh, he was tough. He was
That's how tough she was, and her two other sisters. Yes. So
Thanks.
there you go.
Thanks
May
for
she
talking
rest
about
in
Gateway.
peace.
Thanks
May
for-
Janice rest in peace. Now you heard that.
Yes, sir.
Anything else that you want to toss out on sports? Not you, Nick, because you're too sad. Like
Well-
we've had years of losing teams.
Pain.
Well,
Lots of pain.
to get off the negative, and what Nick should find the next few weeks quite exciting because free agency starts Friday, Major League Baseball. Aaron Judge is a free agent.
Will he go or will he stay?
Rizzo
can't wait.
Rizzo opted out
I
of his
can't
contract
wait for my
the-
favorite team in the Yankees to not sign them back, and I can't wait for my favorite team and the other favorite team in the Pirates to not have any contention in signing them. It's gonna be a good day. The Yankees are gonna lose, and the Pirates are gonna pick them
I
up.
predict Aaron Judge will play next season.
Mets.
San Francisco Giants.
Whoa.
That doesn't make me feel better.
I got money on him going to
No,
the
I
Mets.
mean that's where he was born and raised.
That still doesn't make me feel better. You said it would.
It'll make him feel better.
No, the
Please stay,
excitement of
please stay Joey strong.
the excitement of free
Gotta
agency.
get it in.
We know the Pirates aren't.
Free agency's gonna be painful for me this year, man.